A lot of people describe themselves as inveterate list makers, and I certainly am one, but I think I didn't realize there was a book in it until someone suggested that I read a book about it, to which my first response was to laugh. And then I thought, yeah, there are things to say about this practice of list making and why I find it so helpful in a number of ways. One way it's helpful is obviously, to organize your thoughts. I believe in lists more than I believe in outlines. I've spent a lot of years teaching English, and one of the first things I do is say, let's just not do outlines. Let's just do a list of, if you had 3 things you really want someone to get about what you have learned, what would they be? If you had 5 things, what would those be? If you had 7 things, what would those be? And then once you have a list, you start messing around with it and moving things around and seeing how they relate to each other, but it's an open space. And so lists don't have that closed sense that I get from outlines, which is this has to come after this. You kind of prioritize things at the beginning. So the way lists open up space is one thing. The way one thing leads to another is another thing. When you start a list, especially if you have a title, and I really believe that the title you get gives you energy. If you say, as I did on my 50th birthday, I wrote this list, what's fun after 50? And then I started writing a list of things I thought would be fun after 50, and how fun shifts. But the title itself invites a certain reflection on what has changed. What's fun now? What used to be fun, but it's really not that fun anymore. Could I just admit that I don't want to ride a roller coaster ever again before I die? But there are some new things that are fun as you change your orientation and slow down and move into different chapters of relationship. So that's helpful. And then I have found also that lists can pave the way for a certain kind of prayer. I grew up in a Baptist kind of tradition where there was lots of spontaneous prayer. So I never heard of litanies until I was an older adolescent. But I love them. I love the long repetition of the litany kinds of prayers where you just stay with, stay with, stay with, stay with. And the rhythm of the petition and the address to God going back and forth is a poetic device. And litanies can be constructed in some interesting ways where you have a primary petition, you have some specific requests, and then you address God. But I think that staying with is one of the things a list can help you do. We're not done yet. I'm gonna list things for 5 whole minutes. Or I'm going to say 15 things that do X. 15 reasons to ride your bicycle. Or 10 good things about spending time with a toddler. Or 5 things marriage teaches. But however big the list is, it gives you space. So it's like the lines around a tennis court.